right, welcome back, Impact Family. Today I have James Davis with us. You're one of our DSPs and also a family member of one of our customers. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing, Demi?
Good, thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day and your busy schedule to come down and chat with me.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to do it.
Thank you. Tell me a little bit about your story and how you came to be a DSP with Impact.
Well, my brother Dario,
Mhm.
he is developmentally disabled to the extreme. He can move physically,
Right.
but cognitively, he can't speak, he can't write,
Right.
things of that nature. So,
How did you guys come to have services provided for Dario?
well, originally we went through the county, and we had been with the county for about 7 years.
Okay.
And then we had a situation with the family,
Mhm.
and Dario came to stay with us full time.
Yeah.
My wife and I, Brooke.
Yeah.
So we changed things while he was here.
Yeah.
When he got here, the Ruth Rivera.
Yeah.
At the county actually suggested reaching out to Impact because he was now living with us full time.
Right.
And through the county, you're only allowed to do so much.
Right.
So we got him over here at the beginning of 2023.
Okay.
As a recommendation from somebody. We were kind of lost.
Yeah.
We just
absolutely.
inherited a brother. So.
Okay. And do you mind telling me a little bit about Dario's story? I don't know. I don't want to get too personal, but is there anything about Dario that you're willing to share in terms of, the services that he needs and how having services have changed his life, have changed yours and Brooke's lives and your kids' lives?
Well, yeah, that's a lot. There's one of the big things is there's a lot more community feel to it. When we've met with Dario or been with Dario
Right.
for the previous years through the county, there's not been a lot of organization. So his extracurricular activities were pretty limited.
Right.
When he came to live with us, when we came here,
Yeah.
sorry,
That's okay.
it was immediately different. There was like bowling alley trips, and he really started getting into that. He can't bowl, but he
Right.
likes to sit and listen to the music.
And watch. Yeah.
So that's a huge thing, for us, is that there's a community, there's a social structure for
Right.
him that was just never there
Beforehand.
before.
And in terms of changing yours and Brooke's lives, I don't know what your kind of day-to-day looks like, but is this being a support person for Dario, is this kind of what you guys are able to do full-time to help provide for your family? Or is this supplemental to your, I don't want, again, not too personal, but how does this help you guys in terms of being able to be paid to be a support person for Dario?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's got multiple advantages. The first one, obviously, being that you're not limited to, say, 40 hours
Right.
a week when somebody like Dario needs full-time care.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't ever be alone. He can't, be allowed to wander outside the property.
Right.
So that's a big deal. It's we don't do any other work outside of this. I design websites, but I do that from home anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So and we have 2 kids who also go to school.
How old are they?
12 and 8, our boy, and
Fun ages.
yeah, they're good. Sawyer, our daughter, she likes to go to the events too.
Yeah. And do your kids like having Dario around in the house? I'm sure that was a big adjustment for them.
Yeah, he's been with us for, many years off and on for, several days at a time. But him moving in, full time was a big adjustment for
All of
the
you.
kids, for everybody, really. It was, something we didn't have time to plan for.
Right.
And the kids, though, have taken it,
Really well.
really well. Sawyer, our daughter, likes to help, with Dario. She likes to help make his bed, or help get his plates, or deliver his food, those kinds of things. When he's.
So when Dario came to live with you guys full time, what was the biggest change that you guys saw with Dario and for your guys' home in general? Was in terms of like behaviors or things that he needed the most help with, that he was kind of have improved since he came to live with you guys and have started receiving these supports full time from you and Brooke?
The biggest thing is his condition, autism, as well as Landau-Kleffner syndrome.
Okay.
And he has Huntington's disease, which
Okay.
You get from your mother
Okay.
in any event. So he has a history of rage problems. That's been his biggest thing is rages. You know, he's had caregivers over the years. They've all quit because of physical altercations with Dario. You know, he's developmentally disabled, but he's still a grown man.
Right.
So that's always been his thing. You know, he would damage walls. I mean, he would scream and bang on things and could become violent.
Right.
What kind of started the ball rolling was Dario attacked my dad.
Oh wow.
In my dad's car.
Oh.
Dario was sitting in back and he attacked him and he bit him all the way down his neck and his arms, and so that was a pretty serious deal. And at that point,
that's dangerous for both of them.
At that point, Brooke and I said we need to take over Dario's medical things, and because something's not, he's not improving, he's not helping. So they agreed to let us take that over, and once we started getting really in touch with his medical team and really getting them to understand, it was huge. Night and day. Yeah. He's able to do social things. He doesn't bang his head in a car.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a big thing. The stability of him being with us. It's a routine. He's definitely very routine driven.
And for you guys, for you and Brooke and your family, being able to be home with him, provide that stable support that's not always changing, and being able to make an income out of that. And, for joining Impact, where we start at $24 an hour, I'm sure that was super helpful for you guys too. Like, you were able to not have to stress about, the financial side of it, as well as not having to stress about Dario being in, somebody else's care or somebody that wasn't familiar with his routine or anything like that. How was that for you guys? Was that a big thing?
Yeah, it was a big thing. Like I said, our kids, they do online school. And so being able to be home
with them,
and Dario, it's huge. We don't have to worry, about, I guess a paycheck to paycheck kind of feeling. It's just, it's always there. You can count on it. We have, somewhat of an advantage that he lives with us. Right. So, but it's been good. Yeah. It's been really great that we haven't had to worry about, what's coming up, or if there's something major, are we going to be, okay. So yeah, it's definitely, stability is great.
Awesome. And what is Dario's kind of behavior and his relationship with you like, as his brother and as his caretaker?
Well, yeah, we're definitely more buddies.
Right.
He likes to like play, the patty cake or the clapping. He likes to do that. If he comes up to you and he'll do the high five if he wants to.
Yeah.
So he's got, different mannerisms and things like that are.
Was it something that you guys were fearful of in the beginning, of having that your kids and your animals and your family around him prior to him being able to make these giant improvements?
Yeah, initially it was hard. We had a smaller house too, so people had to be, very much separated.
Yeah.
And that made it difficult. But since this journey, since December before last, he's made those improvements to where he just is out, when company comes over, when, the family's out, he's just out there. He can come and go, as he wants to, and he's not stuck behind a gate because of behavior issues. So
stuck behind a gate, is that something that was happening previously, that was affecting him and his behaviors?
I believe so. There's kind of an adage, if you treat someone like an animal, they'll act like an animal.
Right.
And so Dario had behavior issues, and unfortunately, his mom and dad, their answer was a gate to keep him, separated from the rest of the house, because he could become violent.
Right.
And he could, attack people. And so they were very careful about how they let him out, to go outside and things like that. So that was we didn't think about it at the time, but of course, with that sort of treatment,
nobody wants to be secluded.
You would become that way. So they all had a routine, that just wasn't a healthy routine for anybody. So with, the changes that Dario's been able to achieve,
right.
A lot of it through the programs and things they put together. He's, he goes out and socializes, went to the Halloween party.
Yeah.
He's gone to Halloween parties. He went trick-or-treating. This is his first year he's ever gone trick-or-treating. He's 31 years old.
What was that like for him? Was he really excited and like went with your kids up to door, or was he more intimidated by it?
Yeah, I think he was. I think naturally he was intimidated because it was dark and, he's walking around to strange people's houses. But our daughter, kind of hung with him, and we pushed him. He was in his wheelchair at the time.
Yeah.
So that's those are the kinds of things that it changes his life.
Yeah.
Too. He can't talk and he can't write. So you can't say what's wrong. Limited. And have him, pinpoint what's wrong. It's a lot of guesswork, understanding his moods, and the people here, especially Trevor, has gone, in my book, above and beyond to somebody I would consider a friend.
Yeah.
Not just somebody you work with.
Right.
He's, Dario's been through a lot, and Trevor was there every step of the way. Whatever we needed, he was there. He was always checking on Dario. So that's also a big
thing.
A big difference is the county, and nothing against the county, but they just roll. They got to keep rolling, and there's not a lot of personal connection,
right?
And so it's been much different. Here he has that connection. People know his name, and people say, "Hey, Dario," and so that, coupled with what we have now at our house, he's part of a family. He's not a separate entity from from the family. And I think giving him that freedom, or that that respect, normalcy, makes it night and day difference, and it makes it a little easier to help him.
Yeah. And would you consider Impact being part of that family that has kind of helped him progress in the way he has?
Yeah, 100%. There's, like I was mentioning before, the different programs, the different events that they have going on. Those are things that, it's the same kind of people coming every time. And so that creates a family, a network for Dario that he understands as familiar.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big deal for him.
Awesome. And I've seen you guys, on days where we have events down in the hub, we all kind of like to see everyone come in. And so sometimes we'll look down at the window, and I've seen how patient you are with him when, he's kind of skeptical about getting out of the car and things like that. And I want to applaud you for being able to maintain that level of composure and work at his pace, and not, in a time rush. I think it takes a really special person, a really special family, to be able to bring their loved one into their home and make the overall change to your entire life and your kids' lives, and to be able to provide that type of care and love for your family members. So I really commend you and Brooke and your kids for being able to do that for him. And I can't imagine how different Dario's life could be or would have been if it wasn't for you guys stepping in and taking charge.
Well, thank you. It's a lot of people say thank God, but I know God did play
Yeah.
a part in it, and a lot of it was the timing. 20 years ago or 15 years ago,
Mhm.
had this same situation come up, I probably wouldn't be in a point in my life where I would, take Dario on
Right.
as part of our family. And so, things had to happen, a series of events had to happen to get us to this place.
Yeah.
And especially with, some of the legal and court issues Dario had to deal with,
Yeah.
to be able to get from there to here, there has to be some intervention to get us to that point.
Sounds like there's been a lot that you guys have had to overcome. Dario's had to overcome, and I think that's huge. So, James, I just want to say thank you so much for coming in and for talking about your experience and Dario's experience and taking time out of your day to be here with us. So,
Yeah, happy to do it.
we'll hopefully be able to see you guys soon at some other events that are coming up.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks.